In part one of this video, we started looking at the ways you can protect your product when you pitch it to a company. We also discovered many companies that look at outside innovations don't necessarily like signing the NDA. Let's continue on with part two. See you in a sec. Hi everyone, I'm Alex Reed, the founder of InventInsight, an online platform that offers affordable and free courses, resources, and guidance for product development and licensing for anyone that's looking to bring their product to market. In part one of this video, we looked at how non-confidential information, non-disclosure, and confidentiality agreements play in the submission process. We were also introduced to the non-confidential agreement. That was fun. Now, if you haven't seen part one yet, there's a link down below, and I recommend you start with that one if you can. Now, in part two of this video, we're going to see how a provisional patent application can help in protecting your product for the submission process. Let's go check out part two. In part two of this lesson, we're going to add another layer and take a look at how intellectual property, IP, influences the submission process, especially when it comes to confidential information and the non-confidential disclosure agreements. Now, a provisional patent application is very popular with product developers and inventors. And this is not a lesson on provisional patent applications. We're strictly looking at them as far as when you're submitting to companies. It's really the smartest way to start the patenting process. And it's an inexpensive way to lock in potential patent rights so that you can shop the product, determine market viability, and continue to develop the product. And that's without spending a lot of money until you have had time to determine if you're going to be moving forward with your IP and turn your provisional patent application into a non-provisional patent application. And there's so many advantages. Like I said, it's very, very popular. The patent system works on the first true inventor to file. So the filing date is so key when it comes to any kind of patent rights. And that's why when you file a provisional patent application, you are locking in those potential rights. It's very inexpensive to file. Mainly it's because it can be filed by the inventor. And it gives you up to 1 year to make a decision if you're going to turn your provisional patent application into a non-provisional patent application. And it's easier to add improvements to your product. And the application, the PPA, is not reviewed and it's not published. So the only one that knows what's in that document is you and anyone you decide to share it with. And it gives you patent pending status because you've started the patenting process. Let's look at how having a provisional patent application improves the submission process. You've locked in potential patent rights with your filing date. It's on file. It's documented at the USPTO office. And you're able to use patent pending status on your product. So that's a layer of protection for you. Now, how does it mitigate some of the company's fears? Well, we've talked about this. They might be working on a similar product, or another inventor may have submitted a similar product. Now, if you're worried, say you have the filing date, and you've submitted your product, and that company's working on the exact same product. Well, it's not a he said, she said situation anymore because it's whoever has that filing date on file. That alleviates the company's fears because it's not a he said, she said, and there's not a whole bunch of lawsuits. It's fact, it's on file, and that gives the company a sigh of relief. And that's what the companies were referring to when we looked at their submission terms. That, hey, if you're leery of sending in confidential information, don't, or get a layer of protection, and they gave you links to the USPTO office, get some kind of IP on that product so that you feel more comfortable and we're able to look at it. Now, with that being said, some products might not be patentable. And if you have any doubts or you're not 100% sure, always file a provisional patent application because it's not that hard and it's not that expensive. There's also some industries that traditionally their products don't tend to be patentable. There's not a utility aspect to them. They're also fast-moving markets, and they're comfortable signing NDAs. If you're submitting to these industries, you really should have your own NDA, but I will tell you, it's better to ask them for theirs. Like I said, it's very common for them. A lot of these companies will just automatically send you an NDA. So let's take a look at when you do need an NDA. Working with someone on your product before you file a provisional patent application. And that's designers. Maybe you have to hire an engineer, third-party help like a mentor or a coach, or potential partners. Now we're going to go over these in more detail in our sales aids training. And then if a company is interested in your product and both you and the company want or need additional information, you usually always end up signing an NDA because they might want to look at the detailed drawings or maybe a prototype either works or looks like prototype, or maybe a rendering file that you had done. And you're going to want to make sure that you own any improvements on that current version of that product. And then eventually, if they are interested in patenting your product, they're going to want to see your provisional patent application, kind of know where you're at in that process. And then very important is sharing proprietary information, because you're going to need to know a lot of information about them, like where do they sell, how do they sell, how much do they sell for, all of these things that are proprietary information, and they don't want their competitors to know that information. So they're going to want to make sure an NDA gets put on the table before anybody digs too much deeper. That's going to wrap it up on our lesson of the key components at the center of the submission process. Ready to move on? I'll see you in the next lesson. I hope you found today's video helpful. You can find the link to both part 1 and 2 of this video down below. And if you are interested in learning more about InventInsight's course on product submission process, we posted that link as well. Now, please leave a comment. We would love to hear from you. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to hear about any upcoming videos we post here on our InventInsight YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.